We have previously learned how to multiply binomials. Some of you used the box method, so c plus 2 times c plus 6, and you got c squared, 2c, 6c, positive 12, and you wrote c squared plus 6c plus 2c is 8c plus 12. Some of you used the distributive property. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. And negative 7 times negative 4 is positive 28. And you ended up with x squared minus 11x plus 28. What we want to see today is the relationship between the two binomials we started with and the trinomial that we ended up with. Notice that the leading coefficient is 1 because 1c times 1c is 1c squared. 1x times 1x is 1x squared. So it's important to note that this is 1. And this 8 is 2 plus 6, so it is a sum. And this 12 is 2 times 6. It is a product. Here we have the 1x squared. This negative 11 is negative 7 plus negative 4. It is a sum. And this positive 28 is negative 7 times negative 4. It is a product. Okay, so you multiply the next two binomials and write your answer in your notes. So you should have gotten y squared minus 8y minus 20 and x squared plus x, that's a 1x, minus 6. Again, notice since we started with coefficients of 1, our first coefficient here is 1. And then this middle term is negative 10 plus 2. And this last term is negative 10 times 2. Here, this 1 is negative 2 plus 3, and negative 6 is negative 2 times 3. So when you multiply two binomials, that middle term is a sum, and the last term is a product. We have previously learned that to factor means to write as a product. When you are told to factor something, that means to write it as something times something else. Well, here I have a trinomial, x squared plus 6x plus 8. So it is possible that this started as the product of two binomials. Now, we have said that this middle term, if this started as two binomials, this middle term is the sum of two numbers, and the 8 is the product of two numbers. So we're going to use our x game, and we are going to write the product at the top and the sum at the bottom, and we're going to find two numbers whose product is 8 and sum is 6. Well, I believe that gives us 4 and 2, right? 4 times 2 is 8, 4 plus 2 is 6. So what we're going to do is write this as x plus 4 times x plus 2. So this trinomial factors into the product x plus 4 times x plus 2. What's nice about factoring is you can always re-multiply to check your work. So we can check x times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 2 is 8. And we end up with x squared plus 6x plus 8, which is what we started with. So you can always check when you factor. You don't have to, but you can, and you can know if you got it correct. So let's try the next one. We want to factor d squared plus 10d plus 24. So since this leading coefficient, that's what that's called, since this coefficient in front is a 1, I can use the x game. So I need two numbers whose product is 24. The last term is always the product, and the middle term is the sum. So what are two numbers whose product is 24 and whose sum is 10? That would be a 6 and a 4, right? 6 times 4 is 24. 6 plus 4 is 10. So I'm going to write my two binomials, and my first one is going to be d plus 6, since that's a positive 6, and the second one is d plus 4. I could remultiply those and check, and I would get d squared plus 10d plus 24. The next one I want to factor is x squared minus 6 plus 5. So notice I have the negative here, so I need to be careful. My product is a positive 5, that's the last term, and my middle coefficient is the sum. So that's a negative 6. So I need to find two numbers whose product is a positive 5, but whose sum is a negative 6. What do you think they are? I think it's -1 and -5, right? -1 times -5 is positive 5. -1 plus -5 is -6. So I'm going to write my two binomials. I'm going to use x, since that is the variable in this trinomial, and I'm going to have x minus 1 and x minus 5, since they were both negative. And always remember, you could re-multiply this and you should get x squared minus 6x plus 5. Now I have y squared minus 5y minus 6. So I need two numbers whose product is negative 6 and whose sum is negative 5. Can you think of the two numbers whose product is negative 6 and whose sum is negative 5? Did you get negative 6 and positive 1? Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6, and negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So when I write my two binomials this time, I'm going to have y minus 6, because the 6 is negative, and y plus 1, because the 1 is positive. And where that minus sign goes matters, because we needed a sum of negative 5. So make sure you double check that you have the right sign with the right number. Next, we have y squared plus 2y minus 35. So we need two numbers whose product is negative 35 and whose sum is positive 2. What two numbers have this product and this sum? Did you get positive 7 and negative 5? Positive 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. Positive 7 plus negative 5 is a positive 2, and I needed a positive 2. So the two binomials that I multiply together to get that trinomial are y plus 7, because the 7 is positive, and y minus 5, because the 5 is negative.